Hello, everyone. Welcome back. View from the sidelines, Hammers Poles. I'm joined by James from the Anvil. James, how you doing, mate? All the way over in Canada.
I'm decent.
Yeah. Well, I was decent, and then Sunday happened, and it went downhill pretty bad. And I think anyone who can say that we played well on Sunday, I think's mad. I just think this 3-4-3 system. Teams know how to beat us with that system, and Everton done a job on us on Sunday. What did you think, mate?
We made a mistake by going unchanged, I think, because Everton seemed to have done the homework on us, and they knew what to expect from us. I mean, Everton. I'd said in my aftermath video, I praised Everton more than I said anything about West Ham because Everton set up correctly and stuck to their plan and got it done. So we had. I think we were second to every ball pretty much. Every pass we had was sideways. No one got forward enough. I just think it isn't actually our worst performance of the season, but it's one of our most unproductive performances of the season. And it's one of the most, one of those performances that's left me very pissed off.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I really do. Like, this is a big game on Sunday, and they're out partying for Mark Noble's birthday, and like, there's no coincidence that we play that bad, and they're doing things on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and every other social media outlet for Mark Noble's birthday, and we turn up and we can have a shot on target. I just think Everton were very good, and we was very poor, and to confirm it tonight, Leicester have gone and won tonight against Manchester United. What do you think on that, mate?
I've just watched it myself. Well, I think if Leicester didn't beat that bloody Man U team that was starting tonight, there would have been serious questions asked because that Man United player making 10 changes and having all the young'uns come in and dropping out all the regular players came back to bite them. So I wasn't surprised Leicester won that game.
See, the thing is, I don't even blame Man United, if I'm honest. Man United don't owe us no favours whatsoever. And in history, it's proved it. Like, we've only got to go back to the 95-96 season when we stopped them from winning the league and Blackburn won the league. Now, to me, I just look at it, if we would have done the job against Newcastle, against Everton, and against Arsenal, we wouldn't care what team Manchester United put out tonight, and it would have proved it. Obviously now, James, the Champions League is all over now, isn't it, for us? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking Champions League, to be honest with you, because I think we'd be better suited for the Europa League anyway. I would like to get into Champions League, but my days, it's got to be done now because those teams above us, everyone's saying like even Central. I mean, he's not best person to quote, but Central's even bloody well. Central's saying that it's still realistic. I mean, I know he's talking mathematically, but it's not though, is it? It's not because Chelsea.
It's not realistic.
Chelsea aren't going to drop points, are they? Chelsea aren't just going to say, "Oh, let's drop points and get West Ham in there." And everyone's fighting for something. So no team's just going to help another out.
To me, James, that's a young fan who doesn't understand West Ham fully. West Ham, right? They might they could go and win all 3 games, but then West Ham could go and lose all 3 games, and that's the problem. And do you know what I mean? And I just think to myself, like, we can't even go to Newcastle winning when Newcastle are playing bad. We can't hold a 3-goal lead against Arsenal when Arsenal are playing not so great. So what chance does everyone think that we're going to start turning into sort of Man City all of a sudden? I got this here, James, right? I'll go through it with you, right? This is the points tally, right? And I've gone through it. West Ham played 35, 58 points. Liverpool played 34, 57 points. Tottenham 35, 56, and Everton 34, 55 points. Now, to me, mate, right, I fear Everton now. I actually think it's going to be
they've got a game in hand.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, so do Liverpool. But you know what? I mean, looking at that is enough to get the players' asses kicked into gear and say, look how close this really is. And I don't want us, and to be fair to us this season, we haven't relied on other teams as such. We have been quite proactive in a lot of parts of the season, but we can't keep relying on those teams to drop points. Like I said, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it willingly. And yes, Central is a clown. He's been exposed. His real Facebook profile has been exposed as well. He's 26. I thought he was my age.
Blimey.
I'm 23.
It's not that, James, right? To me, right, when we go and lose at Everton and we don't have a shot on target, right, and we're supposed to be going for Champions League, to me, we're not good enough to even be in that same conversation. Even though we've been there, like, there's too many games this season where we've sort of threw away. Like, I can name 5 off the top of my head. Like the Brighton home game when we go when we set up 5 at the back. Manchester United away.
About that.
Yeah,
Arsenal. We threw that away.
Yeah. There's Newcastle away when we go up there and we set up. That's another one. Even the Chelsea game. I will say the Chelsea game, because the Chelsea game was literally the same thing again. Like, they score a goal, they shut us down, and we're just ineffective. Do you know what I mean? But looking at that points tally, where do you see West Ham finishing now? Because I do fear that we might not even finish in Europe.
I'd say anywhere between 6th and 8th. And honestly, I doubt fifth might be pushing it a bit far, but we need to win these last 3 games. We've got it better than some of these other teams. On paper, we've got it better than some of these other teams. But the teams that we got to play, 1's down and 2 are confirmed safe. So what have they got to lose? Nothing. They're not going to play out for any fighting spirit. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. I actually fear Everton there. They're the team I do fear, because if they win on Thursday night against Villa, they're on the same points as us. We then go to the team that we've never beaten in the Premier League ever, in Brighton, and people are saying, "Oh, they've got no defenders." It don't matter, mate. Right? Brighton have beat us with Glenn Murray up front, and that's saying something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, we've got they've got no Mopé, they've got no Dunk, they've got no they've got no fullbacks, but it just doesn't matter, mate.
Yeah, so what?
They seem to beat us every single time they play us or draw with us. So what did you make of Sunday though, James? The performance of the players, everything.
Second best all game. I think it was we were just second best all game, winning balls, getting balls forward. No one really wanted to pass around. I think we had too many midfielders on for a start, and not enough. No one really up front. We packed the midfield up too tightly. The only players that really stood out for me, Souček had an all right game. So far, had a decent game, but I'm not going to slag him off too much. As soon as Andriy Yarmolenko was announced that he's coming on, I was like, "Fuck off!" Seriously, excuse my language. Within minutes of him coming on, Everton knew his weakness. Luka Dean was all over Yarmolenko because Yarmolenko doesn't seem to realise that you're allowed to use 2 feet. So Yarmolenko was literally stepping over the ball repeatedly, like hesitant little 5-year-old in a men's league, and can't even get the ball forward. I think, like I said, Everton sussed us out. Everton sussed the whole team out. They had a plan, go 1-0 up and just defend for the Lions. Godfrey was amazing for them in that game.
Yeah, and Yerry Mina. I thought, that was Yerry Mina at Barcelona. That was all day long. I thought he'd done an absolute job on. Yeah, and Alan and all. A man of match performance, wasn't it, from him? And do you know what? I said it. I called it last week, and I said it on different things. I turned around and said, if Lanzini plays, right, then we're going to have problems because Alan will bully him. And that's exactly what they've done. I know Lanzini went off and then he brought someone else on, but Alan's a top player, mate. And you don't go and play for Napoli unless you're crap, or something. So, he was top draw. I'm going to ask you, mate, what did you make of our front 4? And I will start off with Antonio. What did you think? How do you think Antonio played? I thought he was poor.
Isolated. He didn't do a hell of a lot. You know what? You actually mentioned Antonio right now. I actually barely recognised he was on the pitch until you mentioned him right now. I don't remember Antonio doing anything.
Yeah. Do you know what? Who was it? Troy Deeney said it on Sky.
Oh, yeah.
He turned around and said, when you've got the difference between having a proper out-and-out striker, who is a striker, and a winger, Antonio kept drifting from left to right all the time, going from one wing to another. He was never centrally. He was always crossing the balls in, and he should be in the box, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the point of him crossing the ball in when we need him in the box? I thought I agree, mate. I thought he was non-existent. I thought Yerry Mina done an absolute job on him, mate. Absolute job on him.
Yeah.
Bullied him. Yeah, he was into him from the get-go. And yeah, I agree, mate. I thought he was poor. What do you think? I'm gonna mention his name because I've been praising him up, but I did criticise him on West Ham Fan TV, and I say it here right now. I thought he was shite. And I do. Ben Rama, what did you think of him?
He overcomplicated everything, man. He overcomplicated his freaking chances. Like, I think the whole team overcomplicated everything. Ben Rama, the header, right? He's got to get on target. And you know, people fans wonder why Moyes complains about Ben Rama. That's one of the things. Ben Rama needs to forget the flair, forget the buzz. That header should have instead controlled that on his chest and fired it because he had the time. I mean, everyone's decision making was particularly bad, but that was one standout thing that he did in that game. I thought Ben Rama was shut down as well. I think that Everton contained him quite decently.
Do you know what? There's two ways of looking at it with Ben Rama. I've been backing him up and all that. And I think you've got to give this geezer time. Right? And I'll say it quite openly. I've seen people saying that they want to sell him in the summer. And I'm thinking, it's only the West Ham fan base, James, isn't it? That we can loan a player last season, loan him, buy him in January, and then sell him at the end of the season. Now, I'm telling you what, that is just madness, isn't it? If like people think because he's not performing right now, right? But you know what does it with me with it? I just want to say this, people will be going over there next season when the fans come back and they're allowed to watch games, and they will be cheering that man's name, right, and supporting him. But they're slagging him off now, saying he's not fit to wear the shirt, he's not good enough. It just makes no sense with me. It really just does not make no sense. I agree.
I
will say
don't
this.
Even start.
Yeah, I agree that he didn't play well on Sunday. I thought he was shocking. I thought the miss was shocking. I thought his overplay was shocking. It seems to me that this man is under so much pressure, because he wants to do well. And you know, when you try so hard and you're trying so hard, it just doesn't come natural, does it? And that's exactly what it seems like it's happening with him at the minute.
I wouldn't say it's not trying too hard. Well, I wouldn't say it's for a lack of trying at all, but it's not trying too hard at the same time. I think it's just doing what he's doing, what he's accustomed to doing. And to be fair to him, it's not awful. It's not awful to see it. He's not a bad footballer by any stretch of the imagination, but he needs to learn a few more things, i.e., when to do things at a certain time. Like, I'm going to say it because everyone's talked about the header that he put off target. Why is he not controlled that on his chest and fired it? Because he had the time. So making rash decisions and trying to go for the spectacular isn't working. It doesn't work. I'd rather just get it in.
But do you feel though, James, like he makes one mistake or one error, he's like hounded and criticised massively, like really badly. He's no good, he's this, he's that, right? But I've seen other players this season, and I will mention one player, Fornals, for instance, has missed a chance at Spurs at the beginning part of the season where he's 3 yards out and puts it over the bar when we're 3-0 down. And people are like, you know what, it's Pablo Fornals, he's amazing. And I don't want to single out like players, but like this geezer, it just seems like he does one thing wrong and everyone is on this man like a good one.
Flipping out. You know, when you mentioned West Ham Twitter, that's what it bloody is. I remember Declan Rice in that away game against Arsenal in 2018 where he ducked in it and Arsenal scored from that. Why is it? I mean, I love West Ham fans, but in the time they've all been tweeting, I'm probably asleep here in Canada. Wake up in the morning, check my phone, and read some of the stupidest bullcrap I've ever seen when it comes to players. Stuff like Fornals is shit. You know, Fornals, Ben Rama is shit. We should have gone for a player like, I don't know. I don't even know who it was. It was somebody who was a lot. It wasn't Eze. It wasn't Eze that was mentioned in the tweet. It wasn't him. It was someone else that plays in the Championship. But I'm like, are you mad? Oh my life! Yeah. Some people just have mind over logic, I think.
Do you know what I think it is? And I'm going to leave it on that with the Ben Rama thing because I will keep backing him up. Even if he's not playing great, you will know more next season with Ben Rama, like when there's a crowd there.
Yeah.
I think this season he's been in and out. He and I will criticise him for Sunday because I thought he was shocking, and I will openly say that.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
yeah, and that is fair in my opinion because I'm not going to keep saying he's great when he's not. Do you know what I mean? That's a flip flop, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll just say it how it is. Do you know what I mean? So let's move on from Ben Rama. Let's go to Lingard, mate. What did you think of Lingard on Sunday? Because I thought
he's been doggering his last 2 games as well. That's a Yorkshire whip shit. He's been crap in the last. He's been crap in the last 2 games as well. I'm not sure it's a Lingard, but I'm not saying he's not been there, but he's not as energetic as he has been before. He's getting the ball, he's just slumping with it a bit. Are we starting to see the reasons why Man United fans slated him so much? I hope not. But he's been quality for us, Lingard. I'm not even going to start, as you say, all this thing of taking piss out of him. But my God, he's been shocking in the last 2 games, Lingard. It's not that he's not been present. I haven't noticed him do anything enough to contribute in a way. Oh, what? He got the ball in his feet? Yeah. Okay, great. But what's he done? Nothing. He looks a bit lethargic.
He looks like he's run out of steam. If you want me to be honest, like since when was it? Let's be honest here. The Newcastle game, he didn't do nothing. The Chelsea game, he was non-existent. The Burnley game, he played okay in. I say he played okay, but just okay. And then the Everton game, yet again, non-existent. So really, if I go back, the last good game he's had for West Ham was Wolves away. When you really sort of sum it up, and that was 5 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So it's madness, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but you're right though. He's not. He deserves being criticised in the last few games. I don't think he's been as good as he could be.
Yeah, Simon's got a question for you. James from the Anvil, random one. How comes you don't live in the UK anymore? Do you ever come back?
I went here well, my mum still lives in the UK and my dad lives over here. So just to answer this question, I moved out to Canada just because UK just didn't do it for me anymore. Where I was living wasn't great. Over here, it's better quality of living. Could earn more, better opportunities, etc. Reason why people go abroad. Do I ever come back? I come back once a year usually. See my family. Go back up to Doncaster, see people there. Go to Leeds, see my brother when he was still living there. But yeah, I come back once a year. Next time I come back, I want to go down to London to see West Ham and go to Duke's pub.
Well, yeah, that'd be good, mate, for you. But and I'll obviously that was a 3-man attack that I've mentioned. Then obviously, like moving on now to the Brighton game, James. Where do West Ham go now? Like, because this is a game we just don't win. Like, this game is like Brighton is just a team that we don't beat. We don't play well against these teams at all, ever. Do you know what I mean? And people expect us to turn up there and roll Brighton comfortably, where I disagree. What do you think, mate?
No, I'd not say I don't think we'll roll them comfortably because Brighton have actually had some big results to beat Spurs. That's not odd. They beat Leeds. The thing is with Brighton, you look at the Brighton and you think, oh, that's they're a bit tin pot. I'm just going to maul them over. And then when they actually play you, they don't maul you over. They're not like that. They're a team that springs a lot of surprises. We used to have Izquierdo do one over us all the time. Then we had Glenn Murray do one over us all the time. Now it's Mopai and he's not playing. I don't want to see. I've seen fans on Twitter saying, "Oh, Duncan Mopai ain't playing," and yeah, that's a boost for us. But it doesn't mean to say that they're not that they can't fill in those gaps properly and get a result against some. If anything, I'm actually nervous for this Brighton game because we haven't got a good record against them. I don't care if we've got Rice back. I don't care if they're missing 2 players. We ain't done well against them. Period. And it's not just Brighton. It's not just Brighton. It's that team that's never ever lost to us in the Premier League and has never been relegated from the Prem.
And we just never play well against this team ever. Like
I can't believe
us get hammered 3-0 at home before.
I was on a road trip to the mountains watching that Brighton game earlier in the season. Was that worth me using 80% of my data and being alive for 23 years only for West Ham to play 8 defenders against Brighton? I just sat there in the car for the rest of the journey thinking, what has my life come to?
See, I agree with you there, mate. I watched that game, and basically that was the start of how I got into the YouTube thing, because I went on a show and I was absolutely raging, because what it is with me is I won't talk crap, I'll talk fact. And there's a difference. Like when you're playing 8 defensive-minded players against Brighton, when are we going to go positive against these lower teams? Do you know what I mean? We went positive against Burnley and we played well. It seems like we're between a rock and an hard place when we come to Brighton, because we never play well, and they always seem to sort of turn into a prime team who just either turn us over comfortably or we draw the game. It's not good. Do you know what I mean? James has lost for words.
I actually don't know what to say. I don't know why they do it. I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
How do you see the rest of the season going, James, with us?
I think we'll beat West Brom. In all honesty, I think we can beat West Brom. Southampton, they're winning right now against Southampton. Southampton, we at least have a good track record against Southampton. Did double over last season. You know, we've got a good track record against Southampton at least, so I'm not scared about the final game of the season. The West Brom game, I'd happily nab a few players off of them. I'd nab Johnson and probably Pereira off of them. But Brighton are already down. The thing is with Brighton, West Brom and Southampton is, what have they got to lose anymore when they're already safe for next season? Nothing.
Yeah. But you know what it is with us? It's just that we just, for some reason, I don't know where it's come from, and people say, oh, it's injuries. Well, I'm sorry, but it ain't injuries, really. When we go up to Newcastle, we played poor, right, in my opinion. Like, in that first half, we was poor. Craig Dawson gets sent off, and it was just a poor performance. The Chelsea game, people say, yeah, Chelsea are a good team, but so are we. We're supposed to be a good team this year, and we do, yet again, nothing. Do you know what I mean? And then the Burnley game was a good performance, I must admit. I was quite pleased up there. Thought we played well. But then the Everton game just put the nail in the coffin for us, really, mate, for Champions League. And do you know what? I was absolutely gutted on Sunday night. Absolutely gutted. I went on West Ham fan TV.
Yeah, I was.
And I was absolutely devastated.
Fuming, though. Yeah, I was gutted, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
That's not the right word. I wasn't fuming at the performance, because it wasn't like Newcastle at home. Newcastle at home was our worst performance of the season thus far.
Yeah.
The Everton game wasn't fuming. It wasn't even frustrated. It was
disappointed.
I just maybe that, but I just was so complimentary towards Everton because of how they set up. I couldn't help but praise them because of how they set up and how we made a mistake, I think, by going unchanged. We made a mistake by going unchanged, because Everton's a different animal. They've got quite a good defensive structure. They've got attacking fullbacks. They've got Allen, who's blocking in the middle of the park. Just because they didn't have James Rodriguez, you know what? They've got 2 good strikers in Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who knows a few people that I know, and Richarlison, who's obsessed with getting the R9 haircut. And
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, madness. Yeah, but you know what though? People say about Calvert-Lewin, he goes, "Oh, like, he's on a poor record and all that. He's on a poor run." Right? And I said, like, people got to understand something, right? West Ham's defence can be got at, right? And when you've got Craig Dawson in there, and we're relying on Craig Dawson to be like Maldini, like, it's okay for a little while, but then it proved it. I tell you what, it proved it on Sunday, because they made sure they put their pace up against Dawson. I wasn't going to do that with Diop. I was going to do it with Dawson. And exactly what happened. Ball goes in behind, and that's it. Go.
Well, what I can tell you is that we need new centre backs in the summer, because Ogbonna is a player who's getting better with age, but that's fair enough. But who else have we got other than Ogbonna as our best centre back? I'd go for 2 other centre backs as well. I'd go for Anderson, Joachim Anderson, because he can play different roles. I'd go for, I wouldn't say Milenkovic because I haven't seen him play. But one player I think we could bring in and rise up through the ranks is Nottingham Forest Joe Worrell, because he's solid and he's young and he can be developed. So those would be my 2 choices. And I think Anderson would be a must.
Yeah. See, it's an hard one, really, because really when you're like in the Premier League, you need pace at the back, really. And people are being like with us, we've never had any good pace at the back. Like Diop's got the pace, but he hasn't got the defensive. If he could sort his defensive play out, I'd say Diop all day long. Like I think Diop he has one good game, one bad one, and then he goes one good game, three bad ones, and it all seems to just go up and down. It's never consistent. But I do agree with you, James, 100%. Like, if someone said to me right now, you're going to buy a centre half, a striker, a left back, and a midfielder, I'd settle for that. I could do without the goalkeeper for a season, but I think them four positions are key. Like, I even think we need two strikers at the club, not just one. Like because it just seems like if Antonio doesn't play well, West Ham don't play well, and that's a bit of a worry.
Yeah, and if he gets injured, we got to go up front. No one.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah.
But Bowen, but he's not really a striker. We need a proper striker. Like, what pisses me off every summer we are in this position where we need a decent striker. Every summer we need a striker. We need a striker. We need someone who can attack down the middle, not someone who goes left and right.
Do you think we will change next season? Because I actually do believe the old West Ham will return next season. Like I think this was a one-season wonder where we played well because all the other teams have played crap.
No, not. I actually don't think other teams have played crap necessarily. It's just I think what I trust is David Moyes' word. In other words, I trust David Moyes to get things right because he's not going to set. David Moyes hasn't set up for mediocrity in training. He hasn't set up for laziness. Fair play to him. He's getting stuff done. Apparently, he wants more say in transfers, from what I've heard. And if that's the reason why he's not signing a new contract because he's putting his foot down, fair play to him. But I think if Moyes can get the right players in, like he did the Součeks and the Bowens, in, we should be all right. Because I'm confident with him as manager right now. Whether we'll return to our old ways next season, I don't know. I hope not. But I think Moyes can provide a good basis.
I'll tell you the reason why I think we will return to our old ways next season. First thing will be lack of investment. I can see that coming. Right, I really can. I can see. Me and you both know, with amongst other West Ham fans, we all know that we need a certain amount of players at this club. Right, because we're lacking in certain areas, big time. It seems like when Cresswell gets injured, we've got no left back at the club, and we have to go back to a 5, and it just sods up everything that we've done. But when you look at Liverpool, for instance, and I'm not saying we're as good as Liverpool, don't get me wrong, they set up 4-3-3 all the time, and they've got multiple left backs at the club, and you don't see them setting up as a 5 or anything. Do you know what I'm saying? So I look at it when we sort of lose a left back, a whole defensive line goes out the window, right? So for me, I think next season you're going to see teams like Leeds who are going to improve. They're going to strengthen. Everton are going to strengthen. Arsenal will. Tottenham will. Leicester will. And you've got the big like the other teams like Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. And I just think we'll be lucky if we finish in the top 10. And that's not me being negative. That's me being realistic. I just think like there's other teams there. I think we're good enough to finish in the top 10, but nowhere near Europe. Nowhere near. I think this season.
No, I agree. I think top 10's next season's good enough for me. But it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. That's the wrong word. But it's what I'm thinking. Investment's the key thing, and I fucking hate transfer windows with this club. I really do, because sod all happens. The very least that we need at this club, very least, is a scouting system and a director of football. That's the very least we need, but it's not going to happen. Yeah.
Do you think any of the youngsters will come through, though, for us next season? I.e. Connor Coventry? Yeah, I mean.
Maybe. But Moyes always is watching their games. Moyes is watching the 23s all the time, so he's keeping tabs on these players, so maybe.
Yeah.
I think Odebeko needs to play more.
I think, me personally, I think the youngsters need to go out on loan. I've said it with you before, James. I just see, I'm seeing other clubs who have got, we've got 8 loan players out on loan. Do you know what I mean? And that is, for a Premier League team, Chelsea have got 31 in different ages, different areas. And it's just, it just makes no sense to me.
Some of the youngsters we got need to go out on loan to get a little bit more experience, maybe get a better judgment of how they are. Coventry and Odebeko are two players that I can probably see in the first team next season because they've got more experience. Yeah.
If West Ham, so basically, where do you think we will finish this season, then, mate? Where are you going to put?
I'll say anywhere between 6th and 8th. I can't give you a definite one. If we get into Europe, I'll tell you this though. If we get into Europe, I reckon the board could end up doing what they did in 2016 and just bulk up the squad without any real intent. That's my worry.
Yeah, and that is a worry. I must admit, I agree with you on that because we signed a load of players. Evening, Tom. How you doing, mate? But I agree with you 100% there. I hope they don't just go out and just buy anyone and anyone. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like just go and say, oh, because he's a free transfer, we have him like you're shopping at Poundland or something. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's got you've got to be sensible. Like the problem is, and this is the problem, is the budget. Now, if the budget comes back and they say, right, you got £60 million, we've done well, James, getting Kafal and Souček, and these players are sort of work straight away. But when you want a striker who's going to be prolific, you got to pay the money, ain't you? Do you know what I mean? What do you think on Lingard, mate?
Do you think that next season?
Do you think we will sign him up?
Yeah, I would because he loves the club a lot. The other option we'd have is Matheus Pereira, who I might consider taking if Lingard doesn't sign, but Lingard all the way.
Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? I honestly, I can't see. I'm going to be honest with you. If we lose at Brighton, I don't think we get Europe. I really don't. Like, I think Everton. This is what I think would happen, and I'll be honest. I think that on Thursday night, if Everton beat Villa, then we'll be lucky if we do finish in the top 7. Because I think, if you think about it, let's put it this way. I can see Liverpool not losing the game. Yeah, Liverpool are a good team, well-organised team, got world-class players, so they're going to finish above us. Everton will be level on points with us going into the weekend. I'm not sure who Everton have got their last 3. But if Everton are playing anyone of any, if they're playing like a Sheffield United or someone, or Fulham or anyone like that, it's all over. Because they will roll this team.
I believe that they do have Sheffield United in the last few games. They've got let's see, they have got Villa, Sheffield United, Wolves and Man City on the last day of the season.
So they've got Man City last game of the season. Now, don't be surprised if Man City put out a reserve team against them. Because they're going to have Champions League the following week, right? So you got Wolves in there, which will probably be at home, I believe. I think that's at home, that game. You got Sheffield United in there, so that's 3 points straight away. They won't lose against Sheffield United, especially at home. And then they've got Villa. Now, if Everton don't win on Thursday night, I'm going to say that we get 7th. I believe Tottenham will overtake us, right? Because the last 3 games, mate, I'm going to be honest with you, I just can't see, like the Brighton game, I just think, you know what, that's a tough game, right? I know they've got injuries and we've got injuries now. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, it's a team that we don't beat. West Brom, granted, right, they've got nothing to play for, West Brom, but Sam Allardyce will say so. He will still want a performance out of them against us. And then the Southampton home game, last game of the season, it'd be the West Ham way. It'd be West Ham way to bottle it on the last day. Do you know what I mean? To go, you know what? Well, we've got to win one game to get into Europe. We end up drawing or losing the game. Do you know what I mean? So I think the Everton game on Thursday night, I'll be watching that and hoping that Everton don't win. Because if Everton do win, I think we finish 8th. That's no joke.
No, I'm be nervous. I just want us realistic. In a realistic world, in a realistic alternative universe, we win the last 3 games in a row. That's it. That's nothing more, nothing less than what we got to do now.
Yeah. So let's move on to the Brighton game then, James. How do you see it going on Saturday night, mate? 8:15 kickoff UK time.
Shitting it, in all honesty. You know, cue Danny Dyer saying, "Oh, I'm proper shitting myself," because that's how I feel about it. I actually am, in a way, because I get nervous. I don't know about but I can speak for a lot of people. I get nervous watching this team play a lot of the time because of the unpredictable nature of this team. And Brighton game is going to make me even more nervous. I have to strap a heart monitor to me while I'm watching it because it's going to make me blood pressure go up. We're going to struggle against. I can't believe we struggle against Brighton though. That's what I don't get. Why do we struggle against Brighton? Yet we can, yet we can beat, Spurs, and yet we can beat, other bigger teams, and we can't even beat Brighton.
We've done the double over Leicester this season, and we can't beat Brighton. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. I don't get it, man.
Do you know what, mate? I agree. Yeah, I do. Like, I just look at it. I just think like the way I don't know what it is with Brighton. I don't know what it is. They just seem like they mastermind a performance out of us. The only hope that I would say is if Declan Rice is on that pitch come Saturday night, then we've got a good chance of getting a result. Personally, I don't think we beat Brighton. I think we draw the game. No, I said it against Everton. I said Everton will be a draw, and I was close to it. And Everton had a couple of chances, scored one. The game was poor, and I'll say it again this week. We got to Burnley when we play well and we win, but Brighton's a different team. They just seem to have our number every time they play us, like every single time. And I've seen Glenn Murray score goals. I've seen us get hammered 3-0 at home against them at Stratford. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like a couple of years ago, and it's like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? This can't be. Yeah. This can't be real. Basically, do you know what I mean? Let's take some comments. Tom, we've just got to believe, boys. We're massively overperforming. We can do it. Yeah, I believe we can.
I got belief.
Got belief. But I'll tell you what, though, mate. When you got a team that you've never beaten in the Premier League at all, it ain't a good sign, is it? Do you know what I mean? I know things are made to be broken, and things are made to sort of, you know what I mean? Spells are meant to be broken, sort of things. But sometimes it's just. Until when a team's got your number, a 4-2-3-1 is a must. We've seen seem decent on the road against that sort of opposition. What do you think on the 4-2-3-1, James?
Like it. I like it.
Yeah,
like it. No 3 at the back, no 5 at the back. Yeah. Just 4 at the back does it for me.
Who's your after what you see on Sunday? Who'd you go with up front now? Because obviously Ben Rama didn't play well. Lingard went missing. Antonio was left, right, and not in front of the goal. I thought Fornals played well, and obviously Lanzini gets injured.
Fornals was quality.
Yeah. So, who would you do? You stick with the same team, bring Rice in for Lanzini and have a go, or do you change it?
Rice in for Lanzini. Have Fornals as centre mid. Souček supporting. I actually would be very tempted to put Bowen in this game for some reason. I think this Brighton would suit him. Yeah. Do you know what? I think now Ramadan's coming to an end for Ben Rama. Maybe if he's on the bench on Saturday night, I won't be disappointed because he didn't play well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Fair.
So, but then there's a lot of players that have been playing well. Really, Lingard's been. I know he's done well for us, and he has done very well for us, but he has been missing for the last 3 to 4 games. And I just think he's a player that we've got to get him back on form. I think when he plays well, Antonio plays well, and they all play well. Yeah. It seems like we've done well against Burnley, but let's not shadow the fact that it was like we go 1-0 down, we come back, we get the result. But Burnley are a poor team this year. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to ask you this, James, before I sort of come towards the end of it, mate. Is Joe Diop? I see a lot of criticism, and you probably have seen a lot of criticism of Diop. What's your thoughts on Diop? Excuse me.
He's athletic. He's athletic, and he's good. He's good at heading the ball. He's good at scoring goals, but I think he's just a bit clumsy on his feet at times. Not slow, but he reminds me a bit of how Chiarte was when Chiarte played centre back. No, honestly, because he's quite clumsy. But he's not. He's not awful though.
Do you think? See, I see a lot of criticism, and I'm asking people this. Like, I see a lot of criticism on social media. Like, yeah, he can't jump, right? He can't jump. I get it. Yeah, but it seems like it's the same with sort of the Ben Rama thing. Like, he does one thing wrong, and the whole of social media is on this man. Like, he's the worst player we've ever seen at West Ham. Now, I've seen people at West Ham like Igor Stimac and even Billich to a point back in the day, and they weren't like top class for us. Do you know what I mean? I've seen some crap defenders at our club. Hayden Fox, another one. So, like, do you think he gets a lot of unnecessary stick? Really?
No, not unnecessary. Some of it's justified. Like when he's making stupid errors, like at the own goal against Newcastle, and when he's not closing down, tightening up the line a bit. It's fair enough. But I like him when he's doing corners. I like him when he's coming up for corners and he's heading balls. But his defensive aspect needs a bit of work on. Maybe it's his height. I don't know. It's the height department or something there. I don't know what makes him a bit careless.
See, Tom says here, right? He's absolutely nowhere near our worst centre.
That's Roger Johnson.
Roger Johnson, aka the relegator. I forgot about him, James. That's a good shout. Yeah, do you know what I mean? If anyone else has got any centre halves that we can remember of West Ham, then let us know, Tom. But
Sam Byram.
was it? Yeah, he's another one. Like, it's been a few, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? Even there's like off the top of my head, it's hard to like sort of think back, but we have had some absolute howlers. If Ben Rama misplaces a pass, the fans implode. And Scott says Da Costa.
I remember him.
He was another one, and I remember seeing people like Ian Pearce, and people used to say Ian Pearce was a good player. Like, this is me going back years ago, and I was like, not for me. Do you know what I mean? But anyone who's got any centre halves, bung them in the comments. Like Harvey Norvite, and there was another one. There was someone else who was like supposed to be a good defender for us. What's his name?
Arbeloa.
His name. Arbeloa, yeah. Do you know what I mean? People are just like mad, really, with some of the comments that is what they're coming out with, especially with centre halves. But I do agree with you, though. I 100% do agree with you that we do need we need one centre half and someone of pace in this league. Tom's put it in here. Johnson, Breen, Gary Breen was the worst defender I've seen. Like, that's a good shout. Norvite, to name a few. Fox was awful. Gary Breen was terrible, Tom. I must admit, I do. I'll make you 100% right there, mate. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. I do agree with you, though, James, that centre half position. Do you think Alves will get a chance next year, though?
Yeah, I do actually, because I think Moyes likes him. I want to see Alves play because you never know until they play. He's been on bench long enough, Alves. Trained with the first team long enough. Yeah.
If we sort of, just for argument's sake, we do cement our place in a European spot, i.e. 7th or 6th or whatever, would you like to see a certain few of them players play the last game of the season, i.e. Mopé, Coventry, Alves, etc.?
Mopé?
Yeah, Mopé. Meepo.
Yeah, right. I was about to say.
Yeah.
I was like, bloody hell, I would love to have had him. Yeah, if we're comfortable, if we are comfortably in a European position by then, fine.
Yeah.
Don't bring them on and put pressure on them when the game's on the line. But I'd like to see some of them, yeah. I would. Yeah. But it depends on the situation, mind.
Well, we will see. Give us your score prediction for Saturday, mate.
1-1.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? I agree with you there, mate. I think it's a draw. We just can't beat Brighton. And I know people say, and I say it again, I know they've got players missing, but so have we. Do you know what I mean? And we're no better. Do you know what I mean? But I think if we don't beat Brighton, or we fail to win at Brighton, I think European football is like a fear that we might not get this season. I really do believe that. Tom's gone for a 3-1 to West Ham. He believes. I like Tom. He's optimistic. I rate that. He's gone 4-1. He's gone for a Ben Rama brace. I will back Ben Rama to score any time again. I backed him on the weekend at 5-1. And got 5-1 on him, and he missed that header, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, I'm backing him now because he's got. I'm either going to be skint or he's going to score eventually. So one of the two. So, you know what I mean, it's going to be one of them. But I just think it's going to be a tough game on Saturday night. I really do. I just especially the way we're playing. We're not even playing that well, are we, though, James? Really, when you look at us.
No, well, one win in the last 4 is a bit bad.
It is. It's poor. It's a poor. Would you say that's like I see something on TalkSport before we wrap it up? Some Tottenham fan. I don't know if you see it, saying that West Ham are bottling it. Like, coming from a Spurs fan of all people, have we bottled it this last 4 games? Considering that we've won 1 game in the last 4.
Kind of. I just don't want this season's hard work to go to waste.
Yeah.
That's really just it. That's really just the bottom line. I don't want us to have to take our last 3 games for us to cock it up.
Yeah, and that's the fear. That's the fear for me too, mate. Well, on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. James, thanks for coming on tonight, mate.
No worries,
I really do appreciate it. And do you know what? I'll be back sort of towards the end of the week to do sort of like a little preview, see what sort of team we're going to be putting out there. Because is Lanzini going to be about? Is Rice going to be back? Etc. And I'll just, do you know what? I've seen it tonight with Leicester winning, and the Champions League dream is, in my opinion, is over. Like, there's no way we're getting Champions League. Do you know what I mean? We've got to be realistic. West Ham to try and go and win 3 games in a row and expect other teams to drop points is like virtually impossible. Do you know what I mean? So I would like to be proved wrong, but I don't think I will be. So I just think now let's just try and get the win against Brighton. It's gonna be a tough game, and before I end it, I just want to say I've had a lot of online hate recently on my West Ham fan TV and in the comments below. People like to sort of do a bit of trolling, so to speak. So I just want to say that you keep trolling and I'll keep speaking the fact. Do you know what I mean? But I just laugh at it now. And James, you take care over in Canada, mate, and all the best to you. And thanks for everyone watching. Subscribe if you're new, and like the show. Everyone else. Subscribe to James from the Anvil. He's on Twitter, YouTube. Yeah, go and check out. He does some good videos on West Ham and everything. Take care, all the best, and night.